and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer this evening, Logan Landers. And joining me, as always, on Wednesdays to do these amazing draft prospect profiles, we have our guy, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner. How you doing, Vince?
How you doing this evening, sir?
Doing good. Can't complain. Ready to talk some football with you as always. You're going to break the prospect down, give him your grade report. I'll come in at the end. I'm going to give him my three teams who I think this young man's going to be going to. And we got a good one today. We got the NFL draft prospect by the name of Tylan Wallace, the wide receiver coming out of Oklahoma State. But hey, be sure if you guys enjoyed this video today, please be sure to like, comment, and share. It means a lot to us whenever you share it to all your Facebook groups, comment who you think this guy's going to go to, what you like about him, what you dislike about him. It means a lot to us, and we love the interaction we have with you each and every week here on the show. Also, be sure to go check out our podcast available on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts, and really anywhere you listen to your podcast, iHeartRadio, we're over on there, Stitcher also. So go check us out, leave us a review, and enjoy your daily audio experience with our 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio podcast. So, Vince, let's get right into this one, man. Let's talk about Tylan Wallace. What do you like about the young man coming out of Oklahoma State?
What I like about Mr. Wallace, I'm going to tell you, Mr. Landers, this evening, ooh-wee, I love him. Oklahoma State finest. Let's go back in the time. If he wouldn't got a torn ACL in 2019 and finished that season and then coming into this season, it's no doubt in my mind, kudos to Oklahoma State University, Mr. Wallace, we'd be talking about him, one of the top wide receivers in the draft. But he got hurt in 2019, took a step back. But I'm going to give you my grade report about this young man. Competitiveness, A+. Ooh-wee. Toughness, A+. Ability to play through injuries. A good block at the wide receiver position, A+. Physical, A+. And he plays bigger than his size. He's only about 5'11", 180. But, man, you cannot tell. Now, I'm going to tell you his production. And we all know here at 100 Yards of Football how we judge football players, and Mr. Landers can tell you. You can sit up here and tell us all about your opinions, but the stats do not lie. And this is a young man that produced at Oklahoma State. 45 career games, 205 receptions, almost 3,500 yards, 16 yards a catch, 26 touchdowns. But I'm going to put out some key points what I love about the young man. 38 receptions over 20 yards, Logan. 38 receptions over 20 yards. That's right. Shake your head tonight, baby. Then think about this. 27 touchdowns in 31 games. This is a young man that's got it all. And then most of all, like I said, in 2018, his sophomore year, he was the best receiver in the country. 86 receptions, 1,491 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Coming back in 2020, you know we always do the game film because actions and game film don't lie. And all I can say, he put 11 receptions, 187 yards on the Texas Longhorns. Do I have to say any more, Mr. Landers? That should tell you he's a top-flight wide receiver. But what I like about him, he's got that spunk. He's got that size. And he had some injuries, no question about it. The torn ACL in 2019 set him back a little bit. But when you look at it, look where he comes from, Oklahoma State, that's put out some great wide receivers in the past. James Blackman, James Washington, Hotley Lee Dykes, and most of all, Dez Bryant, that had a great career with the Dallas Cowboys. But you know how I do it, Mr. Landers. I like to compare all these great players to the players of the past. And when I look at this young man, I studied him last name. He reminds me of Manuel Tolbert, who was an All-American at SMU back in 1980. He reminds me of the great John Jefferson out of Arizona State. West Chandler, you're not feeling me this evening, Logan. Florida's finest. Mr. John Taylor that played opposite of Jerry Rice. Tim McGee that played at Tennessee. Anthony Hancock that played at Tennessee. Webster Slaughter that played at San Diego State. He's got a little bit of route running and smoothness to him like the great Paul Warfield at Ohio State. Super Bowl champion with the Miami Dolphins. Then most of all, he reminds me in Logan. Y'all give me a hard time here at 100 Yards Football. I'm going to tell on you this evening. Logan, Jeremiah, and everybody else give me a hard time being the Dallas Cowboys fan. But he's got a little Drew Pearson in him, brother. This is a very, very talented football player. He's not fast, but what he got, he's got quick acceleration. And one more player that he reminds me of, he reminds me of Snoop Menace. This goes for you, brother Butler, out of Florida State. and he's got the athletic ability and the jumping ability of a ballerina like Lynn Swan. This young man, I love him at Oklahoma State. I love him coming out. And I think when it's all done, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a guy that we got all these great receivers in the draft right now. We're talking about Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, them names coming up every day when you get closer to the draft. But this man right here out of South Hills, Texas High School, Fort Worth, Texas, is a very special player, Mr. Landers.
No doubt about that. Like you said, you just listed off a long list of amazing wide receivers, and this guy has a ton of potential. Like we mentioned, this is a very heavy quarterback as well as wide receiving draft. And if he hadn't gotten injured a few seasons ago, I'm in agreement with you. We might be talking about him as one of the top, 1, 2, maybe 3 best wide receivers right now. That's just that injury bug's going to knock him a little bit, unfortunately. But it's all right, though, because like you said, the stats do not lie, and that man is an absolute baller for Oklahoma State. And whatever team gets him is going to get a heck of a wide receiver. And that's what I'm here to do, Vince. I'm here to bring my 3 teams who I think this young man will be a great fit with. So let me put them up on the screen right now. The first team I have Mr. Tylan Wallace head to is with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. They got that boy T. Higgins down there. We love us some T. Higgins here on the show, I know. Imagine pairing those two up, Vincent. Imagine that 1-2 punch with Joe Burrow when he comes back healthier than ever. They got to fix their offensive line first, but if they can snag Tylan Wallace, woo-wee, that's going to be dangerous. My second team I have going to the Los Angeles Chargers, paired up with Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. I have the LA Chargers Rookie of the Year with Mr. Herbert. What better way to throw to him than with a guy who threw for a lot of yards and a guy who's going to be dangerous in this league for years to come. I like that combination as well. And finally, my third team, a team that is in desperate need of a number 1 wide receiver, which I think this young man can be one day, is the New England Patriots. Now, N'Keal Harry, he's yet to really show his full potential. I don't know if the Patriots are going to keep it on with him or if they're going to give up on him eventually. We'll have to see. But they do need to solidify a top wide receiver for Cam Newton or for whatever quarterback is looking like they're going to draft in the NFL draft coming up here in just a few short weeks. But they do need to solidify that number 1 wide receiver. And I think Tylan Wallace has all the tools in his toolbox to do that. So any of those 3 teams, I think he'd be a good fit with. But personally, Vincent, I think he'd be a great fit with Cincinnati, with T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, when he's coming back. That could be a dangerous, underrated combo in the NFL. We'll have to see. So let us know in the comments if you agree with my picks. You think he's going to go to the Bengals, the Chargers, or the New England Patriots. And if you disagree, we'd like to hear the teams you think he'd head to and also why. So, Vince, give me your final thoughts on Mr. Tylan Wallace.
All I know is when you look at this young man's resume, production is all over it. Like I say, one more key point, 38 receptions in his career with 20 yards. That means he's putting in some work. So my final words on this young man is like this. The NFL draft, your teams out there, as you just mentioned, don't go to sleep on this young man because he had a serious injury in 2019, a torn ACL. Looked like he came back this year pretty well. He had over 922 yards. So like the great band out of Cincinnati, Ohio, by the name of Midnight Star, they had a song out called Night Rider. Mr. Wallace is going to be a night rider when it comes to the 2021 NFL draft, and he's going to wreak havoc on the teams that didn't draft him. I guarantee you.
I mean, we've seen a lot of wide receivers come into the league, get kind of brushed over, whether it be for injury or for poor play or something like that. And I think with Tylan Wallace, like we mentioned, that injury bug that people are going to plague him for, that might come back and bite him because we know he's getting stronger, he's getting faster. And like you said, his ability to catch the ball and a great yak as well. Whew, this guy is going to be dangerous in the league, I believe. And I think he's going to be a future star at the wide receiving position. Now, a lot of people are sleeping on now. Don't be sleeping on Tylan anymore because he's going to show out in the NFL. Well, if you guys have enjoyed our show here tonight, first off, thank you for tuning in and watching. We are live, of course, on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on our Twitch channel also. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and share if you think Tylan Wallace is going to be a superstar in the NFL and also what team you think he's going to head to. We love the fan interaction, and it makes our day. Also, if you like to listen to podcasts, then hey, why don't you? Go check out our podcast available on Spotify. Just type in 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo right there on the 50-yard line. where you can check out daily episodes of our previous draft profiles we've been doing over the past few months, our amazing Legends interviews we have with Bobby Butler, who brings on some of the best talent around the globe, whether it's in Delray Beach or with former NFL players. We got a comment here from Mr. Kevin Jones giving us the thumbs up. How you doing, Coach Kev? You can check out some of Coach Kev's stuff as well on our podcast. He's got amazing interviews as well as top 10 Alabama draft picks that you and Mr. Coach Jones did the other day. So go check that one out and show that one some love as well. Like I say, you can catch us out on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, as well as the majority of streaming services that deliver podcasts. We are over there. We've got a lot of stuff that you can sink your teeth into and really enjoy. So please go over there and check us out. Well, hey, for my man, Mr. Football, Vincent Turner, the pride and joy of Memphis, Tennessee, I've been your producer, Logan Landers. Stay tuned because we got some more great football content right here on 100 Yards of Football. Stay tuned.